welcome back to Typecast Heroes, where we believe typology can save the world. I'm Amanda Fulwilson.
And I'm Jessie Miller, and today we are going to be talking about the extroverted feeling as it presents as a hero. So we have a lot of resources about a lot of things on our channel if you want to know more about extroverted feeling. But today we are specifically dealing with it as it presents in the hero position. So that would be the ESFJs or the ENFJs.
As always, in the beginning of most of these videos, we like to say that anyone can be anything. And while yes, that is true, we do believe that you can be anything and do anything that you want to do. These videos, the point of them is to really focus in on what the motivation is behind the behavior. So there is a consistency that you'll see with anyone who uses FE as their hero function. And that's really what we want to pinpoint today, is what that looks like and what the consistencies are with the two types that have FE as their hero.
And so Carl Jung called this a ideal average. So if you are somebody who's further along in your type development, if you're a little older in your life, or if something has happened to you to kind of derail your personal growth, you may not identify with all of these things. But the big things to keep in mind are the motivations behind your actions, and that these tend to be the averages. These are very common tendencies. And also something important to remember, nobody changes type. Your type evolves. Your type changes, but these innate hard wirings do not change. And so if you're not conscious of them, they can present in very predictable ways, which is what this language tells us and why it's so valuable. So the hero function is your lead function. It's the function that makes up the biggest part of your identity, and the behavioral stereotypes mostly come from the hero function as it presents. So it's the thing that you feel the most confident in. So extroverted feeling hero is going to be trying to observe and understand the environment around them and the values and the beliefs and the emotions of all of the people. And it wants to, you're going to see them and trying to understand, trying to relate, trying to validate the people around them. They want to understand what it is that makes other people tick, and then they want to do actions to progress that understanding. So they're trying to take care of all of the people, do all of the things, and be just very much concerned with the values and the beliefs of those people. Doing all the things. So this is not necessarily their own personal belief system. Yeah. It is, they've crowdsourced the belief system of the people around them, and they do that by understanding and relating. So the extroverted feeling as a hero has a lot of positive tendencies. It tends to care about other people. It tends to want to sacrifice for other people. It tends to understand social norms. It has a lot of positive traits to it. However, there are some struggles that come with the hero as extroverted feeling. So there's a misconception that your hero function is the one that can't never do any wrong. Unfortunately, because we rely on it so often, we can rely on it when it's not appropriate to do so. So this comes into heroic inflation. And heroic inflation is when we rely on our hero function too much, and then we become overly confident in the abilities, and sometimes that's just the wrong choice, wrong decision to make in that instance. So heroic FE is when you believe in your ability to maintain harmony so much, and that you have the best handle on social norms, that you push them on others even when it isn't appropriate. Somebody may really need to just be like, hey, I need to get this out. And inflated hero FE is like, no, this is what you need to do right now. And they kind of just shut that person down. And that's not helpful or beneficial for anyone to do so. It can also be incredibly emotionally manipulative, because extroverted feelers who have this as a dominant ESFJ and ENFJ understand emotions so well that they understand how to use emotions to get certain actions accomplished, which is not always the greatest thing, because they are able to emulate or copy emotions and then use the emotional response they can expect from the person to get them to do what they believe is best. Now, they can even have really good intentions by doing this. It can be like a parent who's like the mom who cries in front of their children to get their children to make a certain decision, and they can be doing that because they actually have the best interest, the best of intentions with their child. But there are probably other ways to get what you want done than resorting to that kind of emotional
manipulation.
That's
really what it is.
It is. Yeah. It may not feel that way even to the user.
Well, because again, it feels like in their mind, what they're doing is saying, I know that this decision is what's best for my child, and I know that I can get my child to make that decision by doing this thing.
They don't realize how it can be perceived by others when they're doing something like that. Sometimes also they can become they have a tendency to stomp all over the sacred introverted feeling, and they can be like, I don't care what you want. We have to maintain social norms. We have to maintain harmony in this environment. Or we gave an example of this in the extroverted feeling, introverted feeling comparison video, that if there's a fight breaking out, sometimes extroverted feelers will have a tendency to want to say, I don't care who's right, just stop fighting. And then nothing is really solved that way. So it doesn't really give people the space to work out their issues at times, because they would rather avoid conflict to preserve harmony, but then nothing is solved and nothing is accomplished if they're leaning into that too much. Some of the positives that extroverted feeling has, and there's a lot of stereotypes about what extroverted feeling can look like in the positive, is it can be very nurturing. It can be very concerned also with equality. So extroverted feeling as a hero function can try to make sure that everybody is treated the same way, or everybody is treated as fairly as possible, because fairness and equality is not the same, but it can be everybody gets what they need. And sometimes if society is going against that, an extroverted feeler can be like, no, now you're the one who's messing up the external societal harmony, society as a whole. So I'm going to stand up against this, and I'm going to be a voice of what's right in this moment, because you are the one with your beliefs. You as a politician, you as a corporation, you as a organization are the one who's violating this external harmony that society should maintain. And so I'm going to stand up and be a voice and be in action against this. Another gift that society can get from an extroverted feeler as a hero is that they are really good at trying to understand others and understand how they work. Now, when they are relating to somebody, when they are showing empathy, they're not putting themselves in the shoes of the person and seeing how they would see it. That's something introverted feelers do. Extroverted feelers as a hero really want to understand the nuances behind it. So they will want to understand why that person is doing what they're doing. And as they get more advanced in this, as the nuance develops further for them and they're able to understand all of the facets behind emotional behavior, they're able to really be great counselors and be advisors to people who are going through something, because they're pulling on a whole range of experiences from all of the people that they've ever connected with. So it's super beneficial and helpful for them.
It also helps the person that they are talking to, because again, while I might be able to relate and put that, like, if I was an FI user, I am an FI user. So as an FI user, what I will do is I will hear someone's story and hear their problem, and I will say, okay, if I was in this position, what would I do? But an FE user actually sees it from a completely different point of view and says, okay, you're in this position, let me help you through this. And FI can sometimes, and I know this about myself, can look somewhat selfish sometimes, because it comes out like it's about me, even though it's not. It's me really trying to relate to that person. But FE does it in a way that maybe holds a little bit more tact, because they're able to take themselves out of it completely and solely focus on that person that they're talking to.
That was good.
Thanks, I tried.
You did good.
Thanks.
FE is hard.
It is hard.
Extroverted feeling can also offer gifts as it comes to the creative world, because they do understand emotions of others so well. They can be really great actors and really great performers, because they're able to emulate those emotions that society has decided are the appropriate responses, and they're really good at it. They're very good at making them look authentic, even if they may not be authentic to the introverted feeler. They
ironic, huh?
Yeah, they look authentic, and so that's really good for that kind of medium.
They can also pull those emotions out of people while they're on stage. So again, kind of with that manipulation.
But this is positive manipulation. Like trying to elicit that emotional response, and they know how, because they have such a good understanding of emotions in other individuals. And they're also interested in creating a shared emotional experience. So they like to, when they are doing a get-together, try to keep in mind the needs of all of the people, because they're sharing in the emotions with all of the people around them. So it's not just create a good experience for myself, it's let me create a good experience for everyone, Because when I'm pulling it all in, when I'm pulling in the emotional responses from everybody, I want to make sure that they're positive ones, that they're as happy as they can be.
Kind of creates that like positive vibe around the situation that you're in. You just kind of feel good around that person.
With all of that in mind, there is some personal growth for the extroverted feeling hero. So go for it.
So the number one thing with extroverted feeling in general is that it can sometimes come across as a little bossy, but coming from an FI user, I want to make it clear that I don't see it as an FE user being bossy, like do it my way or the highway. It's that they care so deeply about the people around them that if one person is going against the grain, even if that one person is an FI user and is being authentic and true to themselves, if it messes with the harmony and the peace around them and everyone else is affected by it, then that one person is in the wrong for doing that. So while I can see where you guys are coming from, FE users, I would encourage you guys look at the 99 and miss the 1 sometimes. And I would encourage you to kind of notice each person and make sure that you're not pushing too hard at every single person in a group, because one of those people or a few of those people might truly be tapping into themselves and it might mean a lot to them to do what they're doing. And so just recognize that. Again, I totally get where you guys are coming from, and there's so many positive aspects, but just a little tidbit of personal growth with this is to just kind of look from the outside point of view for just a second, taking everything around you, and then slowly, softly push your way in. Oh yeah, that's it. I keep forgetting these are so short. Okay.
Because being human is hard.
And this should make it just a little bit easier.
Thank you for watching our channel. You should, which they do.
Like, subscribe, comment, share, all the things. Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Discord, and YouTube. So we appreciate all the support. And again, this was just a short and sweet video all about FE Hero. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.
Let's gather around the type fire and sing our type fire song. Our MBTITYPOLOGY song. And if you feel uncomfortable, then know there's nothing wrong.